Hello guys, so the PS5 isn't really doing as well as Sony thought it would be doing. At the beginning it was the fastest selling console in history, to a flop in Japan, to the third worst selling console in America, to being second rate in Europe only to Nintendo, and guess what? Unlike, so later this month, earlier this month, Microsoft made a bold decision to discontinue the Xbox One console. So in order to buy a new console, so of course they'll still have to still remain stock in stores. But if you want to buy a new Xbox, you're going to have to buy the new console. Once again, no one is really buying the Xbox One because again, the Xbox Series X, you can play every Xbox original game, 360 not every 360 game, but you can play a lot of the greatest Xbox games, Xbox 360 games, Xbox One game, every Xbox One game, and of course every next gen Xbox Series X game on this new console. Okay, and Xbox had two major exclusives this year, which one of them was probably going to continue selling throughout 2022 with its Halo Infinite. Also, Xbox has Starfield coming this year. What does Sony have? Horizon Forbidden West, a game that has been highly criticized by its own fan base. God of War Ragnarok, which doesn't even have a trailer. Final Fantasy 16, which is a timed exclusive. Deathloop, which was a timed exclusive, which has been confirmed by leaks. So that means Sony only has two true exclusives. Two true exclusives. One of them is highly criticized by, of course, its own fan base for its character designs, and the other, which has no trailer whatsoever. You would think that Sony would want to release Spider-Man 2 this year, but nope. You have to wait all the way until 2023 to play Spider-Man 2. Yep, that's how long you have to wait. Meanwhile, you'll be able to play Starfield in 2022. It seems that Sony has no plan with the PS5, and now they'll be using the PS4 to fill the PS5 supply gap. Yep, they're gonna tell you, if you can't get a PS5, better just buy a PS4. That's just depressing and sad at all levels. The fact that your console isn't selling well enough, that you have to use your previous gen console to make up for sales, is just so depressing. You're supposed to be promoting a next generation console, but Sony doesn't seem to understand that. That if you want people to buy your console, you should not, you should try to discontinue your last generation console as soon as possible. So people will buy the last generation console expecting new games, and then realize that they can't buy games like 2023 or 2024 or a couple years of the console because, again, they're playing on lesser hardware. But again, Sony doesn't understand that. And with there being literally no games worth buying, again, in the PS5 in 2022, maybe God of War might be worth buying. But again, considering that the first God of War game came to PC, well, maybe it isn't worth buying a console that bricked itself on launch, a console that had one of the worst launches in history. Despite being the fastest selling console in history, it had one of the worst and most unstable launches in history, with consoles being bricked and stuff. Of course, they fixed it because, of course, they usually fix the kinks, really quickly after launch. Every console has its kinks that they have to work out. Switch had them, PS4 had them, Xbox One had them, the Wii U had them, the 3DS had them. That's why you shouldn't really buy a console until a year after a console comes out, because usually they have to work out all the kinks with the console. And usually a year afterwards, the kinks are all sorted out. But the fact that that they can't really sell the PS5 in America anymore, because it will never pass the Xbox Series X and S, and it will definitely never pass the Nintendo Switch in sales. And you look at all the leaked games on Nintendo Switch, you really think that God of War Ragnarok is going to compete with Breath of the Wild 2? Is going to compete with Mario Kart 9 on the Switch? which will definitely outsell that God of War Ragnarok within weeks. And yep, that's basically it about the PS5, Sony's failed console. A console just like that will probably end up being third place worldwide. Goodbye.